Hey Student Life, it's Lauren Jabsky. I'm the Impact and Outreach Director here at the church at Life Community. I'm here to tell my story for you, and I'll start with back when I was a kid in elementary school. I grew up here in this church and I loved coming here. I started going here when I was in probably about first grade, so I was probably like, I don't know, 7 years old. So this church became a huge impact on my life, and it became probably the most important piece of my life growing up, and it shaped who I was today, which is why I love being here and watching all of you guys and what you guys have gone through. I have a lot that I've been through, and even though a lot's been good that I've been here and had a lot of people to help me through a lot of the good sides, I've been through a lot of hard times. In elementary school, I went through a lot of bullying, and it caused a lot of deep impact on who I have become today. A lot of it up until maybe about 4 years ago, I wasn't a happy person because of the bullying that I've been through. I was happy, but I think deep down inside it really changed who I was. Before I was bullied, I was a really happy person and had a lot of friends, and I didn't really care too much what people thought of me. But once I hit around 6th grade, my first year before junior high, I don't know what the change was, but I was bullied really bad, and I think a lot of it had to do with being a little overweight, which is embarrassing, but that's what happens, and it really was a big struggle for me. I then went on to junior high, and it kind of carried along with me. So not only was I bullied by my elementary school kids, it started being bullying by junior high kids because they heard about what I've gone through in elementary school. So it just carried along for a long time. I would say that I hated being at school, which I think a lot of you guys could probably understand. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have gone through bullying, which is something that I can definitely relate with. It was hard to deal with. I didn't want to be there. I would come home and cry every day. I felt so alone. I felt like I had nobody. But like I said in the beginning, was I had this church, and that's what kept me going, was the love that I had in this church. No matter what, I knew that I'd come here and I would have a family. And I didn't have friends at school for so long, but I would walk through the doors here in my youth group. They welcomed me and they loved me, and that's all that mattered to me, and that's what kept me going. So in high school, I still hated school, but I was excited that I had an opportunity to go to beauty school my senior year, which started shaping who I was going to become. I loved doing beauty school. It was fun. I ended up being a hairdresser for 6 or 7 years. And I guess to kind of reverse a little bit, I ended up meeting my husband here in the youth group, and so that was kind of a big thing. So during all of this time, I was able to also have my boyfriend at the time that had my back and loved me so much. And then going into our future and having that job was just so cool to start growing and changing. But then there was something that was kind of still missing in me, and that was that bullying back in the day. It really haunted me, and it made me struggle as far as having the courage to do a lot of things. I felt like I wasn't strong enough or good enough, which was really difficult. So I guess I didn't have confidence, which is not fun to admit, but it's just not something I have very well. As soon as I realized that doing hair wasn't my dream anymore, I wanted something more, but I didn't know what. That was a really big turning point in my life. That was about, I guess 4 years ago. I was married. We had just had our 1 year of being married, and I was really lost, and I remember crying all the time because I felt so alone and lost, and I didn't know what I was worth because I'd been so tormented growing up. I had no self-worth. All I had was my husband that I knew loved me and my family, but I looked back a lot on what I had gone through, and I just kept turning to that I was worth nothing. Why would anyone want me for anything? And I don't know what the exact turning point was for me, but I knew that I needed to change, and I strongly felt the Lord calling me to serve. And that's when I found the organization of the table, that we serve with our family every Sunday night, and we serve a hot meal to the community, and there was just something about it that changed my life. I knew that God was calling me to serve, and as the years went, 3 years later, I'm still there, and I love serving the Lord, but it got stronger and stronger, that pull that I was supposed to be in ministry, and that God was definitely calling me to lead and to be a disciple and to love Him. Looking back, it may not sound like bullying was something to be so depressed over, but it was rough. I was very alone. I think that you can get really caught up in being alone and feeling like a failure, feeling like you have nothing, but knowing through all of that I had love of family and my church, and knowing that God stood by me through the whole thing is something that I look back on. Recently, this last year, I found out that I couldn't have babies, which is really heartbreaking for me. That broke my heart. I didn't know what to do about that. I've wanted to be a mom my whole entire life, so hearing something like that shattered me. I questioned God for a little bit of why He would give me such a strong desire and then not let me have a baby. That was heartbreaking for me. But He again reminded me that He's not here to break my heart, and He's not here for that He loves me and He's going to open other doors. And I feel so blessed that Joe and I get to adopt a baby, and we're on that path to have a baby soon, and we're waiting. I don't know when that would be, but it's just over and over, God is just opening doors and blessing me, and I just feel so honored that I'm His daughter and that He loves me through everything I've been through. So I encourage you guys to stick through whatever trials you're going through, because trust me, we've been there. It's hard. It's not fun. Bullying and being hurt by whoever you're surrounded by. I mean, we've all been there. It's difficult, but the Lord loves you, and we love you. I love you, and I feel so blessed that I get to be a part of your life, and that I get to sit alongside of you guys as you're going through this journey. So I thank you for allowing me to be a part of that. So I love you guys.